Tonight on Newswatch, we'll have the latest on the campus assault.
And find out about a new program between DMAC and the Iowa State College of Design.
And I have the latest in Cyclone sports and a recap of the weekend.
Temperatures were in the 60s today, but they are cooled down. I'll have your full weather. Newswatch starts now.
This is Newswatch 18. Newswatch 18 starts now.
And welcome to the March 29th edition of Newswatch. I am Julian Neely.
And I'm Coltin Loftin. Thanks for joining us.
On Monday, a federal assault was filed against the North Carolina governor and other state officials after proposing a law that won't allow transgender individuals from using public bathrooms that identifies their gender identity, and would prevent cities from passing anti-discrimination ordinances to protect individuals in the LGBTQ community. Two of the plaintiffs are university system employees, and one is a university student that wants the judge to declare the state law, House Bill 2, unconstitutional and a violation of federal laws banning sex discrimination. The state of Georgia has received attention after its state legislature approved a bill that would allow religious groups to deny service to individuals in the LGBTQ community as well.
All federal buildings in Washington, D.C. were on lockdown after a man pulled out what appeared to be a weapon in the Capitol. A Capitol police officer shot the suspect once the suspect pulled out his weapon. The suspect, Larry Russell Dawson of Tennessee, faces charges of assault with a deadly weapon and assault on a police officer while armed. Dawson went through surgery and was stable but in critical condition on Monday. This wasn't Dawson's first outburst at the Capitol. In October, he was arrested after assaulting a police officer after an outburst in the chamber of the House of Representatives. In that situation, Dawson loudly stated that he was a prophet of God.
The famous decor eagle have an incomer in the nest as the first eaglet of 2016 has hatched. Internet users flocked to the Raptor Resource Project's long-running Ustream to see the new bird Tuesday morning. RRP scientists predict that the two remaining eggs should hatch within the next few days. The bald eagle webcam has been online hit with 330 million views tuning in since the streaming began in 2011. The project's goal is to study the nesting habits and growth of American bald eagles.
Presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, was arrested on Monday for battery against a reporter in Florida. The incident occurred March 8th when Lewandowski roughly grabbed Breitbart News' correspondent Michelle Fields after asking Trump a question about the campaign. Lewandowski denies these claims, calling Miss Fields delusional. The campaign manager turned himself in to the Jupiter, Florida Police Department early Tuesday morning. The court date has been set for March 4th.
More than 2,000 police officers from around the country will form a 8 to 10 mile long funeral procession to honor Des Moines police officer Susan Farrell. Farrell was killed in an early morning collision that killed one more police officer and 4 others. The accident occurred early in the morning on Saturday when a car was driving in the wrong direction on I-80. Funeral services will start at 11 a.m. tomorrow at Lutheran Church of Hope.
The iconic Los Angeles restaurant Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles is in peril of closing down. Equally famous for their good food and connection to the hip-hop music scene, Roscoe's took a large financial hit last year after being sued by a former employee. While the parent company has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, it doesn't necessarily mean that the business might go out. Don't go anywhere, we'll have more news right after the break.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The Des Moines Register and 2 students and a professor of Drake University have teamed up to organize a series of forums. The forums are focused on race and race relations in Iowa, specifically Des Moines. The group hosted their latest event on Thursday, March 3rd, called Classmates, Race in Schools. Administrators of Valley High School, students of Drake University and Valley High, as well as parents and teachers attended this forum. They discussed a variety of things from an incident at Valley last year to evaluating schools if schools are prepared to deal with diversity. Their event is Thursday, March 31st at the Science Center of Iowa in downtown Des Moines. that is called the Tough Talk on Race.
Iowa State Police have issued an alert to students pertaining to a violent incident that occurred yesterday on campus. An ISU student on a motorcycle was threatened with a revolver by another driver on the corner of West Street and Highland Avenue in Ames. The suspect is described as a white male in his mid-30s with facial hair and seen in a silver Dodge SUV. If anyone watching has any information on the subject, please call Iowa State Police at 515-294-4428.
Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley told voters at the conference at Northwestern College Tuesday that there would not be a lame duck justice appointment in 2016. The chairman of the Senate Judicial Committee has come under fire for refusing to accept President Obama's nomination for a new Supreme Court justice before the election in November. The nomination is to replace the seat previously held by Justice Anton Scalia, who passed away unexpectedly on February 13th. Senator Grassley has spoken out against the backlash, stating, "When somebody says I'm not doing my job, I resent it."
An Iowa State assistant professor is one of 23 scientists at 16 institutions to contribute in an international study that found human activity makes terrestrial biosphere contribute to climate change. The assistant professor of ecology, evolution, and organismal biology, Chao-Kun Liu, and her fellow scientists found that methane and nitrous oxide emissions that come from human activity make Earthly atmosphere a net contributor of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the new study. Liu says that methane and nitrous oxide released from the Earthly atmosphere is roughly 2 times larger than the cooling effect of the biospheric carbon dioxide sink. Liu said, "Without human activity, the Earthly atmosphere would be natural." The study has been published on nature.com.
Danielle Carpenter recently attended the stained glass workshop on campus. Here's more.
The Stained Glass Workshop held their first class of the 5-week course on Thursday, March 24th in the MU. From beginners to experts, this class challenges people to come out and to use their creativity to design their own piece of art.
I'd never done this before the last class, and I went home every single time after class, and I'm like, that was the best class I've ever done. It is totally outside of anything I've ever done, and it's at the same time like so incredibly creative, and you get to do so many things with glass. It's just crazy. It's a really fun thing to do.
Instructor Rod Simpson let the students figure out what design, color, and texture they will want to make their piece out of at Thursday's class. With Simpson's years of experience, he never gets tired of passing on his passion and his lessons involved in staining glass to his students.
To watch these guys doing it, and as it progresses, each stage of putting their piece together, you see them, when it starts to take shape, you see them looking like, wow, I really did that. I'm really making this happen. So that's its own reward.
With 4 more weeks of this class left, these students are excited to see the final outcome of all of their hard work. For ISU TV, I'm Danielle Carpenter.
On Friday, a Polk County jail inmate, Lamont Walls, was found unconscious in his cell and later passed away. Family and community leaders gathered Easter Sunday at the Polk County Jail to demand the family have the right to identify the body, answers, and release of an autopsy. An autopsy was performed on Monday in which found Walls had suffered no attack or trauma. Officials won't be able to release the cause of death until officials receive the results of toxicology testing. Officials are saying that Walls ingested what they believe was a bag of narcotics around 4:41 p.m. on Wednesday. Walls was charged with probation violations, interference with official acts, disorderly conduct, and preventing apprehension. Walls was a student at the American College of Hairstyling.
Iowa State University's College of Design and Des Moines Area Community College, commonly known as DMAC, are coming together to make a new plan for students. The Community and Regional Planning undergraduate program is currently a 5-year degree, but with the new plan with DMAC, will shorten the degree to 4 years. After graduating from DMAC with an Associates of Arts degree, students will then be able to transfer to Iowa State to earn their bachelor's degree. This is the first agreement with area community colleges for the College of Design, and many believe it will attract more students to ISU from DMAC.
We are now joined by Mary Rominger at the desk with sports. Mary, how did Cyclone Athletics do this weekend?
The men's basketball team lost in the Sweet 16 round of March Madness, but I'll have more after the break. Welcome back to Newswatch. While March Madness remains as exciting as ever, the Iowa State Cyclones unfortunately ended their season in the Sweet 16 against number 1 University of Virginia. The Cyclones dug themselves a hole in the opening seconds of the basketball game and couldn't rally back. Cyclone Nation had to say a tough goodbye to seniors George Niang, who had 30 points in the night, Jameel McKay, and Abdel Nader. It's down to the final 4 games of March Madness, and madness it has been indeed. Upsets have prevailed throughout the month, with notable Syracuse upsetting their way to the Final Four, alongside Oklahoma University, University of North Carolina, and Villanova. It all goes down April 2nd, beginning at 5:09 p.m. to determine who will tip off in the championship round. The Iowa State softball team faced a doubleheader against North Dakota State University this past Saturday. Senior catcher Sammy Hildreth helped bring the Cyclones to a 7-2 victory with a pair of 3-run home runs over the course of the weekend. The team is back on their home field again for a matchup against Indiana State, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Regionals, here they come. The Iowa State gymnastics team has qualified 7 gymnasts heading into the NCAA regionals this Saturday at 4 p.m. at the University of Minnesota. Alex Morosco, Kelsey Paz, Brianna Ledesma, Haley Young, Megan Sievers, Sydney Converse, and Hillary Green will be representing Iowa State in the regional competition. Iowa State will be presented in all 4 events. Good luck, Cyclones. After the break, Jen will have the latest in the weather forecast for the week.
Welcome back to News Meteorologist Jen Ryherd here with you. Today we had a gorgeous spring day, highs in the 60s across the state, but we are on the cool down, and that's partially due to all these strong winds that we are experiencing right now. 20 miles an hour down in Des Moines, 21 miles an hour here in Ames. So very strong winds, but they are bringing up that southern air, but still, because they are so strong, making us feel a little bit cooler. Right now we're at 56 in Ames, 59 in Des Moines, 58 over in Sioux Cities, and here are those current conditions for Ames. A few clouds out there in the sky, but those south winds, and that dew point actually is pretty low for us, 32-degree dew point, so very dry conditions out there, but that's all going to change as we move forward in the forecast. We do have a few showers moving across the northern part of the state, even some more severe showers up into Minnesota. But as we go into tomorrow, those severe storms are going to be more numerous. Here we've got a slight risk in the yellow part for most of the central U.S., and that includes portions of Iowa, and a marginal risk too for other portions of Iowa. So large hail and strong winds are going to be present tomorrow, that's for sure, so be sure to stay tuned to the weather. Here we're going to start tracking that system that's going to be moving across. So here we are at Wednesday morning. Just a few sprinkles perhaps throughout the morning hours, but then as we go on through the day, that low pressure system is going to move in, and here are these yellow and orange pockets. That's where we're going to see those more severe storms that could be producing that hail and those strong winds. We shouldn't have tornado risk here in Iowa. That should remain to the south for us. That low is going to continue moving off to the east, and with it that chance for those severe storms as we move into our Thursday. But tonight we are going to see a low of 49 degrees, and those winds are going to be fairly strong, up to 20 miles an hour and gusting up to 30. And those isolated showers, chances for those throughout the night. Tomorrow, though, we are going to warm up again into the 60s, 71 over in Council Bluffs. But then for us here in Ames, 65. Again, those chances for those storms and thunderstorms here in Ames and across all of central Iowa for us tomorrow. But looking ahead at the next 7 days, a rainy start to this 7-day forecast for the next 3 days. But then as we get into the weekend, a warm up with some sunshine and 60 again by Tuesday. Stay tuned. More news after the break.
Welcome back from the break. An ISU apparel, merchandising, and design student was named top designer at the Omaha Fashion Week over spring break. Senior Kate Bruce's 8-outfit collection was inspired by office supplies and Andy Warhol. Bruce laser cut and digitally printed fabrics around each piece, which showcase the beauty of everyday objects in the office. Bruce is also one of 2 producers for Iowa State's annual fashion show held in April.
Burger King is back again with the colored hamburger buns. After the black buns baked with A1 sauce during Halloween, the fast food chain has now released a red bun. The new burger has been named the Angriest Whopper and is piled high with thick bacon, American cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion petals, jalapenos, mayo, and a spicy angry sauce. The bun also has hot sauce baked in it. This burger will only be on the menu for a limited time and will range from $5 to $7.
The streaming service Tidal is finally sharing the official streaming numbers for Kanye West's The Life of Pablo. Kanye released his latest album exclusively on Jay-Z's music service when the album dropped on February 14th. According to Tidal, Pablo was streamed over 250 million times in its first 10 days of release. Tidal subscriptions also reportedly doubled after Pablo dropped. Tidal is also celebrating its 1-year anniversary since it launched on March 30th, 2015 by sharing its number of subscribers. The service says it has gained about 2.5 million new subscribers globally since its launch.
Instead of wasting all the unsold food at Starbucks, the company has now recently teamed up with the Food Donation Connection and Feeding America to donate the leftovers to food banks. This program is going to include more than 7,000 Starbucks stores located within the United States, and the food will then be redistributed by FDC and Feeding America. Brand manager for Starbucks food team, Jan Malley, primary focus is to be able to maintain the flavor and texture of the food so that the person in need can safely enjoy it. It is estimated that Starbucks will be able to donate almost 5 million meals by the end of the first year of the program.
And that's all for tonight's edition of Newswatch.
Join us on Thursday for more news, weather, and sports.
Until next time, have a wonderful night, Ames.